100% necessary, and a block also isn't 100% necessary. But sometimes bringing the floor up to meet you is nice. So if you've got a block or something, like if you just have the bed next to you, that's fine too. And let's get started seated. So any comfortable seated position, Virasana, Sukhasana. You could be up on a pillow, a bolster, or just right on your sit bones, or even the block. And gently close the eyes. Begin to come to the breath. Notice this transition from before practice into practice. Showing up onto your mat with everything that you've got, in the sense of everything that is alive in your body. Present with any emotions from earlier today, maybe residual stuff from this hectic week. We bring it all with us. Beginning to deepen the breath here. Begin to feel the length of the spine. From the tailbone, up through the mid-back, upper back, through the neck to the crown of the head, growing long, long, long. How can I take up more space in this seated position? How can I allow my breath to take up more space? And all the while, as I am working to expand my borders, expand the boundaries of my body, can I find some softness to this action? Can it be less rigid and more airy? Release the hands beside the hips. You might gently blink the eyes open. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Take the gaze with the arms. Feel the front ribs hug the back body. Maybe the palms can touch. Shoulders fall away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, release the arms beside you. Sweep them up. Inhale. Exhale, lower them down. Moving with the breath, taking up space with the arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Once more. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, release. Nice. Drop chin to chest. Keep the spine feeling long from tailbone up through the neck. And then the chin falls gently towards the chest. Breathe into the back of the neck. And then roll the head from side to side, half circle. Like a stone dropped in a bowl, it rolls down and up the opposite side. Next time you make your way towards the right, take a full rotation around the back, to the left and back through center. Move twice more in this rotation, noticing anywhere that there might be some congestion, and then pause with chin towards chest. And start taking it the opposite direction. Full rotation 3 times. Breathing. clearing up some space in the neck. And pause down center after the third round. Lift the head, lift the gaze, come onto your tush, extend the legs in front of you. Legs are long. You can lift the seat by sitting on a block here. Feel the side waist grow long, sweep the arms up and overhead. Try and take up some more space here as you drop the shoulder blades down the back. Press the heels away, pull belly up and in. Feel the side waist grow long. Maybe gaze up. And then reach the arms forward, really engage the belly. Begin to lower down onto your backs. And as you lower, if the hands need to assist, go right ahead. Maybe the core can do the whole job. So find yourself on your mat. Hug both knees in. Let's get small. So we have the juxtaposition of our small to big. Really tight in, curl head towards knees. And then extend the legs out in front of you. Extend the arms out. A brief shavasana here. Get big. Now reach through the feet. Point the toes. Reach the arms up and overhead. Hug the right knee in. Interlace hands behind the hamstring or have the strap around the ball of the foot as we draw the heel towards the sky. Getting into our hamstrings. Point the toes, flex the foot, roll the ankle. If you do have the strap, take it into your right hand. If you don't have the strap, that's all right. Rotate the leg externally. Make sure that left leg is engaged if it's long. If having the left leg long is not available today, you can plant the foot onto the floor, pointing the knee towards the sky. With the external rotation of the right leg, the right toes pointing towards the right, begin to open the leg out to the side. The right hand can support, or you'll hold on to the strap. Keep engaging through the core here. Feel that right heel reach it away. Feel the left heel reach it away. Bring it back through center. Hug the knee in. And then switch sides. Right foot can come on the floor, left knee hugs in. Right leg might go long as the left heel reaches towards the sky. As you press the left heel up towards the sky, the right heel reaches forward. And then the outer left hip rolls forward towards the front of the mat. You can point the toes and flex the foot, getting into calf and shin. And then pause down center, external rotation. The strap can come into the left hand if you have one, as we open the left leg out to the side, any amount. And the right leg is nice and engaged, or the sole of the foot is on the floor. Reach through both heels. Maybe that right arm reaches out to the side, even taking up more space. Bring the leg back through center. Bend the knee to the chest, hug both knees in. Come into happy baby here. It's early. We are getting into our hips today, so just notice how this happy baby feels, and we'll compare it to the one at the end of practice. Another breath or two here to feel into the hips. Bring the knees back through center. Hands behind the hamstrings. We're going to rock forward and back. And we're going to pause right on top of our sit bones. And then roll back and then hold as you pause. And then this last time we're going to hold here. Lift the heart. Shins parallel to the earth. A little modified Navasana here. Think of the lowest part of your belly pulling towards the spine. As you lift the heart, you might float the hands, making it a little more difficult, or keep the hands on hamstrings. If you're really feeling it in your hip flexors, you engage more through the low belly. Just breathing here. And now we're gonna try to roll back and then roll up into this without hands. It's just playful. Woo! Do it once or twice. The importance of play in our practice. And then release the feet onto the floor. Hands behind the hips, maybe 10 inches. Fingertips point forward. Press into the heels. Lift the hips. Reverse tabletop. Stretch the front of the body. Lower the hips down. And let's come on to hands and knees. Roll through cow and cat. Connecting breath to movement. With cow, how can you take up more space? How can you press the heart further forward? In cat, can you dome the spine closer towards the ceiling? And then we'll come through tabletop as you're ready. Walk the hands forward. Tuck the toes and lift the knees an inch off the mat. The elbows are scooping towards the midline as the belly button pulls up and in. Using that low core muscle to really pull towards the spine. Look back at your knees, they're barely hovering. Lift the right toes off the mat. See if the left knee lifted much higher. Lower them back down, switch sides, left toes hover. Lower it down, both knees down. Sink the hips back, child's pose. Always available, always here to support you. Feel small in this child's pose. You might drape your arms beside your hips to take up even less space. And then we'll walk the arms back forward. Plant into the hands, activate the arms, scoop the elbows. Zip belly to spine, begin to roll up through tabletop. Tuck the toes and find your way into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Let the hips move side to side. Stretch the side waist. Any movements you like to feel more connected to your down dog. And then find stillness. The beauty of the stillness in downward facing dog. It is ever moving, especially with our breath and the micro movements of our muscles. How can you take up more space in this downward facing dog without compromising the integrity of the alignment? Can the hips lift a little higher as you root into the hands? Can you feel length through the side waist? Inhale, float forward through plank. Hands line up right underneath shoulders. Elbows scoop in, belly scoops in, heels and tailbone press back. The inner thighs roll up towards the sky, and the crown of the head grows nice and long. Breathing here. Knees can lower for modified plank, but the core stays engaged regardless of modified or full plank. How can you get bigger in this pose? How can the spine grow longer? How can the breath be longer? Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Walk the hands to the feet. Forward fold at the back of the mat. Let the head be heavy. Maybe nod it forward and back. And sway it side to side. And then find stillness in this forward fold, Uttanasana. Notice where the weight in the foot is held the most. Try and shift it so that it is nice and even across the full foot. As you lift the sit bones towards the sky, you surrender the crown of the head towards the earth. Hands to shins, belly to spine. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, come up, Ardha Uttanasana. Pause here, breathe here. When we were sitting on our tush with our legs extended, can you try and find that same position, but now we are balancing on our feet? How about that? Hands to hips. Nice strong spine from tailbone to crown of the head. Core engaged, front ribs engaged. And then as you press into the feet, come all the way up to standing. Release the hands beside the hips. Sweep the arms up and overhead. Gaze up towards the hands. Hug the front ribs in. How can I take up more space here? Can I press my feet further towards the earth as I reach my fingertips up towards the sky and I widen through my collarbone? Inhale. Exhale, dive forward over the legs. Lift halfway, flat back. And walk the hands to downward facing dog. Float forward on the inhale for plank pose. Knees lifted or lowered, come towards chaturanga to the earth. Uncurl the toes. Hands stamp down right beside your chest, tops of the feet press, pelvis to the floor, engaged legs. Belly to spine, come up, low cobra. And here we are taking up so much space with the crown of the head reaching forward, the chest staying nice and wide and open. Strong legs reaching back. Hands scrubbing back towards the heels like we could shoot ourselves forward. One more breath in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra, maybe a little higher this time. Exhale, lower. If you're staying with cobra, please continue there. If you're coming to up dog, press into the hands, stand into the feet so the legs lift as you roll the heart forward. Next exhale, lift the hips. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Surya Namaskar A. Let's build up some heat. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop feet towards hands. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, Uttanasana. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms. Utthita Hasta Tadasana, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold in. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Plant the hands, step back, plank, and through the vinyasa, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale high onto the toes. Bend the knees, exhale, look forward, step or hop, feet forward. Heart lifts, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms. Hands to heart center. Once more, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back, move through. Find your way to downward facing dog. Down dog, breathing. The right leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hip. Notice if the chest is spinning towards the right. Seal it off towards the earth. Draw the left heel towards the earth with a slight bend in the left knee. Reach through the right knee. Inhale. Exhale, knee to right tricep. Hold here, breathe. Try and lift the knee a little higher. Keep the core engaged. Inhale, leg up and back. Exhale, step the foot to the hands. Walk the right foot to the right, lower the left knee down, let the hips sink. Lift the heart. Hands can be on blocks here. Inhale. Exhale, pull the hips back, straighten into the right leg. Blocks are really nice and helpful if you have them. Inhale, heart lifts. Knee bends. Exhale, fold in. Keep moving. Inhale, bring it forward into the low lunge. Exhale, pull the hips back. Now you might stay with this, moving here. If you're feeling more open in your hamstrings, you can tuck the back toes and straighten the back leg. Inhale in a higher lunge and exhale, fold in with straight legs. So you might play, and both legs don't have to straighten. You can keep a bend in the right knee. You're just playing, you're exploring. We're inviting the legs to open in the left hip and the right hamstring. One more. We'll all meet back in the low lunge. Left knee down, right heel pressing, belly to spine. Begin to come up into this low lunge, hands to hips. So my right hip just hikes up higher than my left. So I have to correct that by rolling my right hip down, hugging it in, engaging my core as I send my tailbone to the earth. And then we'll float the arms up, interlace hands behind the head. Elbows out to the side. Let the heart take up a lot of space here. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Keep the belly engaged, core supporting this pose. Let the head lean into the hands. The gaze can be up towards where the ceiling and the wall in front of you might meet. I guess it depends on how close you are to that wall where the gaze goes, but wherever you find your edge. Breathing. Keep pressing into the front heel, hugging the front hip in. Come back up through center. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, hands to the earth. Tuck the left toes, straighten the legs, step back into plank. Maybe the right toes float for chaturanga. Come through your vinyasa. Exhale, hips up and back. So you might be taking cobra. You might be taking up dog. Through your vinyasa. It just depends on what is right for your body in this moment, which can be ever changing. Left leg lifts, inhale. Bend the knee, open the hip. Keep the chest square to the earth. Keep the objective of taking up space. Shining brightly. Reaching through the left knee, inhale. Exhale, knee to left tricep. We're holding here for a few rounds of breath. Keep the core engaged. Keep lifting that left knee higher in external rotation. And then lift the leg up and back. Inhale. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Hands on blocks or just either side of the left foot. Lift the heart, roll the shoulder blades back. Inhale. Exhale, fold in, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, fold in. Straighten that front leg. Inhale. Exhale, keep moving with the breath. Letting the body explore and expand. And if the left hamstring is beginning to feel more open, you can tuck the back toes, lifting the knee. Pull the hips back, straightening into both legs on the exhale. Bowing down. A few more times. Notice how the body begins to softly open, taking up more space. We'll all meet with our left foot on the floor, right knee down, belly to spine, lift the hips. Hands onto hips for some information gathering. Left hip, hug it in. Drop it down so it's in line with the right. Keep rooting down into the front heel. Sweep the arms up, interlace, take them behind the head, move them over one finger so it's the funky interlace that maybe you're not habituated towards. Keep the chest rolling open. Roll the shoulders down the back. Gaze lifts. Elbows are reaching away. Heart is taking up space. Another inhale and exhale here. Outer hips keep hugging. Inhale, reach up through the arms. Exhale, hands to the earth. Tuck the right toes, straighten the leg. Step the left foot back, maybe leg lifted for chaturanga. Through your vinyasa. And if you've got plenty of heat going, skip the vinyasas, of course, please. Breath in and out. How does it feel to intentionally take up more space? It might feel great, it might feel confronting. It might not feel like anything at all. We just notice. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop, feet to hands. Heart lifts, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms. Hands down through center. Sink the hips, Utkatasana. Lift the frontal hip points. Send the tailbone a little lower towards the earth. Heels root down. Breath. Gaze lifts. Feel the activity of the arms as they grow longer. Feel the activity of the mind as the pose builds in intensity. And as you notice the activity of the mind, can you still it? Inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center, fold forward. Inhale, heart lifting. Plant the hands, step back, plank. A nice slow chaturanga. Inhale, lift for your slow back bend. Exhale, hips up and back. Right leg lifts, inhale. Step it through to the hands. Swivel the back, heel down. Setting up warrior two. If you have a block, put it to the inside of your right foot. Arrive. Warrior two. So in warrior two, we are rooting into the right heel. We are pulling the right hip back, gently rolling the left hip forward. Hips under ribs, shoulders over hips. Keep rooting down into both feet, engaging through the core. And allow your arms to feel spacious here. Feel the crown of the head growing long. Flip the front palm. Stay deep in the legs. Maybe bend a little deeper into the front knee. Reverse warrior. Just a side stretch, so the right hip, stretch it up, get length, length, length to the right fingertips. Inhale. As you exhale, reach forward. Keep pulling the right hip back as you reach with the right fingertips. Hand to the inside of the foot or elbow to knee. So we don't want to collapse this side waist. That's why I think a block is so lovely here. If we reach for the floor sometimes, there can be a collapsing happening. So we want to give ourselves more space as the right hip is pulling back. The right side waist grows long. Left arm up towards the sky and then scoop it overhead. Can you take up lots of space from the left foot through the left fingertips as the left shoulder rolls down the back? The gaze can be to the side or up underneath the arm. Keep the core engaged. Look down at your front foot. Inhale, arrive, warrior two. Exhale, hands come up and over. Step back, make your way through. Either a vinyasa or skip it. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Set your block inside the foot. Swivel your right heel to the earth. Right toes are on a 45-degree angle. Belly pulls up and in. Let's arrive. Warrior two. So notice that front leg, the inner left thigh is rolling over towards the outer left thigh. The left hip is pulling back as the right hip rolls forward. Really strong, fired up right leg. And the arms are so active. And the breath plugs you in to this moment with this shape that you've taken your body into, with the intention of taking up more space, of finding your strength, and feeling connected to it. Flip the front palm. Bend a little deeper into that front knee. Reverse the warrior. Length from the left hip up through the sideways to the fingertips. Long breath. Inhale. As you exhale, reach, reach, reach forward with left fingertips, back with left hip. Hand to block or knee towards elbow towards knee. There we go. Keep the right leg nice and engaged. Keep the left knee nice and bent. Right arm up to the sky. And then scoop it overhead. Long line of energy. Right leg stays fired up. Breath is smooth. Calm the nervous system in the difficulty. What a beautiful lesson to learn, to take with you off the mat. Look down. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, wash it away. Choose a vinyasa or skip it. Downward facing dog. 4 rounds of breath here. If you would like child's pose, please drop down, knees apart, big toes together, and breathe. Elbows scoop in dog. As you're ready, we'll find our way back to downward facing dog. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold in. Sink the hips, Utkatasana. Press into the feet, come up to standing, hands down to heart center. All right, we're gonna take this into a balance. Moving towards tree pose. We have many options with modifications around tree. Hands to hips. Starting into Tadasana with the body, with the legs. Feet are hips distance, parallel. Edges of the feet are parallel. Outer edges of the feet are parallel. Belly to spine, tailbone towards heels. Begin to shift the weight over to the left foot. Just lift the right heel off the mat, bending the knee. We're going to externally rotate the right leg so that the knee points maybe 45 degrees out to the side. We want our hips points to stay pointing forward. It's just the leg that's externally rotating. Now we can slide the foot, the sole of the foot to the inner left ankle. This is tree pose. You can stay here, breathe here. You might walk it up onto the calf. Feel the connection of foot to leg. You might bring it higher than the knee with some help from your hand, perhaps. I certainly need it. Thigh and foot seal towards one another. That right knee is still only pointing to 45 degrees. It's not swinging all the way to 90 out to the side. And the hip points are pointing forward. The belly is pulling up and in. The tailbone is rooting down towards the earth. Hands might come to the heart. You're playing here. The gaze can be on the earth. The arms might lift. Ooh, you might be a tree swaying in the breeze like me. Wherever you find yourself, inquire, how can I take up more space? Can I move beyond the barrier of my skin? Can I take up more space in this room or outside if you're outside? Another moment or two here to play, and can I have a playful idea about this pose? Bring the hands back through heart center. Bring the knee, the knee through center. Woo! Lower the foot down to the earth. I hope my wobbly voice didn't throw you off. Recommit to the feet on the earth. Here I am, Tadasana, such a strong pose. If somebody came and gave me a little shove, I'm not going anywhere. Shift the weight onto the right foot. Peel the left heel off the earth. And then external rotation in that knee, in that whole leg. Frontal hip points keep pointing forward. Draw the left heel towards the right ankle. Here we are. This is tree pose. Core stays engaged. Spine stays long. Now we can walk it up to the calf. More. This is more of tree, not more of tree pose. This is another form of tree. Keep the core pulling in. Keep the right foot rooting down. Maybe that left foot can walk up a little higher. Wherever it lands, have connection with foot and leg. Feel that connection. Feel them press into each other. That's why we don't want it on the knee, either above or below the knee. We don't want it on the knee because the knee doesn't bend that way. It's not good to try and force it to. Maybe the arms float. And wherever you are, you're breathing and you're noticing and you're expanding. And you invite yourself to feel good and playful in this pose. Curious. We can't have judgment if we're existing in the curious space. True curiosity holds no place for judgment. Breath, expanding. Ooh. Another breath or two to play here. Maybe lifting the gaze. Maybe the hands come through heart center as the knee comes through center. And that side was easier for me. Drop your foot down. Let's come to the top of the mat. So we've played with balance. We've played with hip opening. You might have an idea of where we're going. Or you might just be along for the ride. Inhale, sink the hips, Utkatasana, all is well. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Plant the hands, step back, move through a vinyasa. Down dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Step the foot through to the hands. Swivel the back heel down, set the block up onto the outside of the right foot if you have one. Inhale, arrive, warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Press into the ball of the front foot, reverse triangle, moving straight towards that leg. And then we're reaching forward, coming into Trikonasana. Hand onto block or shin. You might shorten the stance. I like a little bit of a shorter stance. Just depends on the length of your legs, I think. Your proportions. So the right hip is pulling back, back, back. The left hip gently rolls forward. Top arm, sweep it overhead, or sweep it up towards the sky. We're just going to leave it lifted this time. Taking up lots of space here. Core engages. Imagine the space that you're taking up originates from the strength of the core. That it's shooting out from this nice, engaged, strong core out through the arms and legs, which are also nice and engaged. And now we're going to play. So you might stay in Trikonasana. That might be plenty of playtime for you. Or you could drop your left hand to left hip as you gaze down at the front foot. And if you've got the block or some sort of support bringing the earth higher to you, You'll take it with you forward as you bend into the front knee and lift the back leg. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. You might stay gazing at the earth, or you could begin to really turn the chest towards the left. Keep that left leg engaged like you could press it into the wall behind you. And maybe the top arm floats up. How can you take up more space here? As you activate the core, reaching the crown of the head forward, reaching the left heel back. It's the pull in all these different directions that really allows for the balance. Another breath or two. And then we're really going to play here. If you're in triangle, you'll just, actually no, we're not gonna do anything different. We're gonna lower back into warrior two. Yeah, if you're in triangle, you're gonna come into warrior two, bending the front knee. Flip the front palm, one more reverse warrior. And hands up and over. Step back, vinyasa or dog. Left leg lifted up and back. Step it between the hands. Set your block up. Swivel your back, heel down. Warrior two. Reverse the warrior. Press into the ball of the front foot, move to reverse triangle, strong back or strong front leg. And then we're reaching forward as we keep pulling that left hip back. Left hip is pulling back towards right heel. Left hand can come onto block or shin. Soft bend in the knee, so we don't want to press the leg further towards hyperextension. And then the right arm reaches up. So thinking of taking up space from the left hip through armpit. Lots of space available there instead of crunching in. You know, hand can be on a block or a stool or anything at all. And the core stays nice and engaged. So maintaining that strong core, right hand onto hip if you're moving towards Ardha Chandrasana. You'll look forward, keep that core pulling to spine. We've done so much core today, awareness. You could step the left hand forward and then the right leg floats. So the left hand is to the outside. It's not right in line with the left foot. It's slightly outside, so we have a bit of a wider base. And then perhaps that top arm can reach up. And as the belly pulls up and in, the spine grows long, the tailbone reaches towards that back heel. And that back heel presses towards the wall behind you. And you play. Nice. Another breath or two. And then we'll all bend that left knee. And we'll step back. And we'll all land into warrior two. And then we'll reverse it. Inhale. Let it be playful. Exhale, hands to the earth. Maybe you got it today, maybe you didn't. All is well. We're just playing. Downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Knees to the earth, big toes touch. Sink the hips towards the heels. Let the forehead come towards the earth or onto a block. Child's pose. Let the breath expand through the ribs. Let the breath take up more space through the body. Slowly come up. Swing the legs forward. Move the flesh out from underneath the sit bones. Bend the right knee, sole of the foot to the floor. You can hug it in. This might be plenty, and you might do your twist from here, Or you might step the right foot to the outside of the left leg. Either way, right hand comes behind like a kickstand, left arm floats up, and we twist towards the right. You can hug the right knee with the left arm, or you might hook elbow to the outside of the knee. Keep stamping down into the right foot and keep the left leg engaged. One more breath in. Exhale, unwind. Extend the right leg forward. Bend the left knee in. Either foot to the inside of the thigh or the outside of the right leg. Right leg stays engaged, left hand behind as a kickstand, right arm reaches up, get length. Exhale, twist. Grab a hold of the left knee or hook elbow to the outside of the leg. Keeping the right leg engaged, the left foot committed to the earth, the heart lifted. One more inhale. And exhale, unwind. Extend both legs forward. Move the flesh out from underneath the sit bones. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And then fold from the hips. Hands can land on shins, ankles, or feet. As you fold in, let the torso surrender. Breathing into the low back. Making ourselves smaller. The usefulness of both of those actions, taking up space and also surrendering, maybe allowing for others to take up space sometimes too. Infusing both into our lives. Finding balance. Slowly come up towards seated and bring the soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. Knees apart. The feet might be further forward or closer in towards the groin, depending on what you would like to stretch today. It gives you different stretches both ways. You might try both. And hands can be behind the hips or on the ankles. And you might fold forward or keep the heart lifted. I like to allow my elbows to rest on my inner thighs as I fold in, letting my hips stretch a bit more. And then allow your head to hang. And slowly roll back up. We're going to take a version of pigeon. So this one may be a bit much for your knees perhaps, or it might feel great. I really like it. So we'll explore it. This is the version, the modified version. This is just going to be Sukhasana with one shin in front of the other and fold in. The other version is double pigeon. You keep one shin on the earth and then you stack the other one on top, and you keep both feet flexed as you do this so that we protect our knees. Heart lifts, and then you fold in. Any amount. Hands can just land in front of the shins, or maybe there's some space to let the torso hang. We're only here for a few rounds of breath. Make your way back up. And we'll switch the stacking of the shins if you took it. once more. Final hip stretch here. And then come up through center. Extend the legs long in front of you and roll onto your back. Walk the feet in, hug the knees in. And let's take happy baby. Here we are comparing from beginning. Just seeing what has shifted in this pose specifically. Maybe a gentle rocking side to side. I certainly notice that my hip flexors are feeling more open, less sharpness to this stretch. Deep breaths into the belly. And then release the legs. Extend them out in front of you. Take them wider than you're used to. Take up lots of space. Extend the arms out. Sometimes taking up space can feel really vulnerable. Can we allow for that? Can we invite that experience right here into our bodies as we breathe and rest in Shavasana, surrendering every thought. begin to take up more space with your breath. Tune into the sensation of your skin. Feel the energy that exists just outside of your skin. Invite yourself to expand your awareness further and further out from the body. Feeling your environment. Feel yourself, your awareness growing bigger, taking up more space. Activate the hands, reaching through the fingers, stretching the hands wide. Reach the arms up and back. Stretch long through the side body. Gather the knees towards the chest. Get small. Hug yourself. Thank yourself. Grateful for this body, this moment, this practice. And then making your way into a seat with eyes gently closed. Notice what's different, what's the same. How am I? Who am I? Where am I? Palms together at the heart, sealing the practice. Heart lifting, head bows. Thank you for practicing. Shanti, peace. Go and take your big selves out into the world.